Good morning, everybody. The topic of mental poise is a vast topic. That's why I had to split it into two halves, which was not planned earlier. In part 1, I had covered the brain and mind section. It had jargons. I hate it, even though I had to use few in the last lecture. But in this lecture, you will find thoroughly correlated aspects of rationalization. No jargons. Let's start with the subconscious and conscious. There are different schools of thoughts of explaining conscious levels. Whatever the school of thoughts it may be, one thing is sure that the conscious level is like tip of the iceberg in comparison to the level of beyond conscious. We may choose to call it unconscious, subconscious or superconscious. For time being, let's call it subconscious for the sake of understanding it better. Let's see how the formation of subconscious happen in our mind. When we perceive any event, we tend to distort and generalize the event according to our own perception. The distortion can be a negative image of the event or a positive image of the event. For example, I call one person and the phone was not picked up. I don't know the actual event. I have a choice of perceiving the event as the particular person ignored me, hence he or she insulted me by not picking up the phone. I have also a choice of perceiving the event as the person must be busy or away from phone, hence the call was not picked up. Even if the person actually ignores, then also I have a choice of understanding the event in this positive way. Now, how these different perceptions happen in mind? Actually, it depicts the self-image of the perceiving person. The self-image is the conscious creation. The self-image is a subconscious creation. In the given example, if I consider myself as a person who can be ignored, I shall choose the first interpretation. If my subconscious has a positive image of mine as an important and unignorable person, I shall perceive it positively as stated. Now why? Why this happens? Since birth and even before birth, we start perceiving the things. All experiences are stored in our mind without any fail. If the quantity of negative experiences are more, then the self-image is created negatively. If the quantity of positive experiences are more, then the self-image is created positively. For example, whenever you tell your child, don't talk like a stupid, the subconscious doesn't take the logical or critical instruction like don't. It would vividly store the stupid as an adjective to self. Repetition of these negative comments reinforce the belief and the child starts believing herself as a stupid person. Instead of saying don't talk like a stupid, if we say please talk like an intelligent, that gives a positive impact to the self-image construction. Now, as a learned parent, we can take care of our positive instructions towards our child. but how to deal with a lot of negative experiences happening all around us. In rewiring section, we will learn how to shield ourselves. Let's understand how the perceptions reach us. We know about these five sensory roots of perception: eye, ear, skin, nose, and tongue. Out of these, inputs through eye, ear, and skin are the major in terms of the impact to the subconscious mind. The maximum impacts happen through the kinesthesia, through touch and muscular movement. Then the visual impact stands vivid in our mind. Auditory impacts are also quite important comparing to other two perception of smell and taste. Often we remember the face but not the name of the person. That is the cue of stronger visual than the auditory inputs. We cannot forget cycling or swimming once learned due to the stronger kinesthetic impact. This also says that our muscles has kinesthetic memory and which is pretty strong. Now let's learn how we can rewire our negative perceptions which can lead to habit change. I shall be discussing two methods of rewiring the mind in this section: anchoring and mental imagery affirmation. First, the anchoring. In early decade of 19th century, a Russian psychologist Ivan Pavlov experimentally proved this process of anchoring or classical conditioning. In a dog, it was experimented. The dog was exposed to food with corresponding response of salivation. You see, before conditioning, the food is given with uh, to the dog unconditioned as an unconditioned stimulus. The unconditioned response happened as salivation. Then a bell was introduced with the food for anchoring purpose. After a number of repetition, the dog started salivating with the sight of bell only. Otherwise, a bell doesn't have the response of salivation before conditioning. In this, the subconscious mind takes the cue when in extreme emotional stage the organisms are there. In this case, it is hunger. From this theory, we understand that any introduction during peak emotional condition will be able to change the habit with that introduction. The advice here is eat only raw. I repeat, eat only raw when you are hungry. The subconscious mind of yours will identify raw food as the right food, and your craving towards other food, namely cooked food, will slowly and gradually reduce. Before going to the mental imagery process and rules, let's understand this capability of our brain. Right side of the parietal cortex of our brain is the seat of our belief, which never stop working. That means whether we are awake, sleep, or in trance, our belief system works similarly. Hence, if any affirmation we are able to put into our mind in trance condition, that is taken as normal as an awake acceptance of belief. Let's use this capability to rewire our belief system. Now coming to the process and rules of mental imagery. After this lecture, you will get a separate AV file for your practice. Do prepare yourself and spare around 12 to 13 minutes for that practice by using your headphone and closing your eyes. It would start with a progressive relaxation process. Keep one of your past happy moment ready for recollection. Give all sensory inputs in your mind about that past moment. Visual, auditory, kinesthetic inputs will be very much effective in the process. Also, you need to keep ready a moment of future with your aspired goal. Since the objective of this course is to assist you to achieve best of your health, I recommend please keep a health moment of future ready. Keep the goal a rational one, but don't put any logical imposition. For example, please don't dream of extending your height if you are more than 30 years of age or 35 years of age. But don't hesitate of having dream of reducing your weight considerably low. This is applicable for the overweight people, by the way, and the vice versa. If you are underweight, then you can reduce, you can dream of your higher weight. And that logic that why should I keep this much weight? I am now 80. Can I put 50? How it will be possible? So don't put all this logic there. Next is don't keep any limit to your wish. As I said already, your subconscious will not restrict any dream of yours. Here I come to the conclusion of foundation course from PSYsolution. Before leaving, I would share a starting rule out of my research and experience. Don't embrace nature cure unless you rationalize it for yourself. Otherwise, it would not be a long-term change in your habit. Do it intelligently. Don't rush, but don't procrastinate. Start loving the sun. It will love you and bless you. Replace your late working hour in the night by early working hour in the morning. Eat raw when you are hungry. Take only fruits in morning breakfast. With right lifestyle choices, your body's vitality will increase and there could be chances of acute stages in terms of fever, flu, loose motion, or pain. Don't panic. Continue with your right choices of lifestyle. Have rest physically, physiologically, and psychologically in case of acute conditions. Revisit and keep rating your wellness frequently from, let's say, 1 to 10 scale. It will help you to rewire the pattern of your habits. If you wish to reward yourself, because we are in a habit of rewarding ourselves if we take some pain. So if you wish to reward yourself because of your pain which you are taking to change your habit, reward health, not late night parties or junk food. Have a great day ahead. Thanks for listening.